Evening, everybody. It's 6:11 on Wednesday evening, and this is your closing comment video number 1749. For a day, or actually the last couple of days, with all of the news, you would think that the market would be a little bit more erratic, up more, down more. In point of fact, it was neither. The CPI numbers came in dead on what they were expected to be. Um, the Dow went down about 30. The Nasdaq was up 127. That was clearly the biggest winner, and it's not difficult to see why. Of the mega cap stocks, we had Facebook or Meta down 47 cents, but Apple, which has been on a tear, up $1.71. Amazon up 3.43. Google up 408, and Microsoft up 508. So those are pretty big numbers, considering where they've already been. We had earnings from Disney. They didn't look bad. They came in pretty much in line, but I didn't listen to the call. The stock was 101.14, down 100 down 104. At the regular close. It actually ticked up and made a new high of the day at 103.74, and then fell back to 96.27, and that's down 545. So that's probably going to hurt the Dow first thing in the morning. Also, after the close, we had earnings from Robinhood, which turned out to be a beat. The stock had closed 907, down 4. It got up to 993. Last is 922. So it gave back most of that, and it's basically up 11 cents. Unity Software was a champ, surprised on the upside, 33.40, up 466, or 15%. Now, the numbers for tomorrow are PPI early, and of course core, and then at 10:30 nat gas inventories, and that's really about it. Obviously there are some more earnings coming, but for the most part they're out of the way. So S&P was up 1847, or just under a half a percent. The Russell was up 983, or just over a half a percent, and the Dow Jones Transports 4222 to the downside. So the Dow stuff, industrials and transportation, both lower, everything else higher. The VIX, on the other hand, was down another 77, showing just massive amounts of complacency down here under 17, 1693, down 77, or about 4.33%. The advanced declines were not great. We were 4-3 to the upside on the NYSE, only 1.3 to 1 on the Nasdaq, but volume increased by 20%. We did 4.1 billion yesterday. We did 4.9 billion today. So that's a 20% increase, and it brings it back in line with that 4.9 to 5.2 that has been the recent average. Oil was down $1.15. Gold was all over the place. It was down before the PPI, and because the the CPI was, pretty much unchanged from expectations, interest rates moved lower. So inflation is still here and lower interest rates, and it turned the gold and took it from down to up. As a matter of fact, I think we ought to have a look-see at what those numbers actually look like. Okay, the gold was as low as 2028, and that was down about $8 below where it closed today. So that would have been down about $14. The high was 2056, so that would have been about $20 higher than where we closed, or up 15 on the day. That's a pretty rangy kind of day for the gold. Uh, Tonight they just started trading. Um, Oil up 20 cents. Not really much of anything. Nat gas down just under a penny. Gold down another 60 cents. Silver down 6 cents. Really not a lot going on. And the S&P is up 75 cents, unchanged on the Nasdaq, and down 15 on the Dow. Russell was up 30 cents, so nothing overwhelming. But I have to say that my favorite chart of the day in all of this was the corn. It came down yesterday. I told you that this was exactly where I would have, if it was going to come down, where it would find support, which is what it did, just over that 580 area. And it made a lower low at 579 and then turned up and ran and made a higher high than the previous day at 596, and it closed 594 even, up 9.25 on the day. As you can see, the MACD is rolling back to the upside again. The last time we had this kind of action, a cascading decline, we hit this long-term trend line, and then we rolled to the upside, and basically we went from about 630 up to 670. That's a 40-cent move. We had a 40-cent move from here. We would be still under that trend line, but testing it from the downside. The 5-day is clearly turning to the upside. This is the 20. It's still probably a week away. Unless there's a huge move, it's probably a week away from crossing. But, this could be another move on trend back up into that 630 area, certainly 625. So I'm pleased to be in that. As I said, first thing tomorrow, PPI, core PPI, followed by nat gas at 10:30, and I'll be back first thing in the morning to give you a look pre-open. Have a good evening.